What's going on, guys? TKD123 back again here in a video, and today we're going to be talking about the Call of Duty World War II beta. It's been the talk of the town, it's been the talk of Twitter as of late. A lot of people have their opinions on it, a lot of people are liking it, a lot of people are hating it, but here I'm going to discuss the things I loved and hated about the Call of Duty World War II beta. Now, I want to say I got 2 to 3 hours of game time, not the most I wanted to get into this weekend, but of course we have weekend number 2 coming up next weekend, so I'll be getting a lot more gameplay and a lot more of experience there. But today I want to discuss, what things I liked about it. So let's just start with the likes. Let's start with the good stuff here. And the really good thing is that this game feels good. Now, of course, that sounds very cliche. It sounds very, rudimentary to just say, oh yeah, it just feels good. But this game truly does feel really good. It feels super polished. It feels great. It looks great. Everything about it looks like it's definitely ready to go. Obviously, it kind of has to be because it's a couple months away from release. But just having, this level of quality, this level of kind of craftsmanship, and this level of, overall just finalization, this, what I'm saying? Like, it just feels done. It feels great. It feels good. I'm definitely hyped for that as well. And also with that feel, with that vibe going on here that we're getting from Call of Duty World War II, I'm getting reminiscent and getting, a little bit of flashbacks in terms of Black Ops 1. This game really does feel a little bit like Black Ops 1 to me. Now, of course, they're not the same era and everything, but just the overall kind of feel to it, and the overall, just attention to detail, attention to the sound design, attention to the graphics and everything, it just feels a lot like, Black Ops 1 to me, and in a lot of different ways, and not directly, but just kind of indirectly the way I feel about the game. And that is definitely super telling, because if you guys know me personally, you guys definitely know that I am 100%, in the kind of mind share that Black Ops 1 is the best Call of Duty, for hands down, definitely 100%. That's how I feel about it. And just kind of having this game really giving me the same vibe that Black Ops 1 did is extremely telling, and I'm really excited about it as well. And speaking of the sound design in this game is absolutely incredible, man. Like, you are getting screams from across the battlefield. You are hearing the M1 Garand and its ping from, like, 30 feet away and everything. And probably the most impressive sound design that is in this game is definitely whenever you go from an outside environment to an inside environment. So let's say you are in a gunfight outside, right? You're right near a door. The other guy lands a couple shots on you. You want to go back into cover to regen your health and everything. So you go inside the building, and let's say there's an enemy right there. If you shoot that enemy, your gun will sound like it's echoing. Like it'll sound different when you're inside as opposed to outside. And that is a huge attention to detail. That's a great thing to see there as well. And not even talking about the kind of sounds that the environment makes, even the sounds of the guns, it sounds so good. Like, there's so much bass in these guns. These guns have oomph, I'm saying? It's not like the other Call of Duty sometimes where we get guns that kind of sound like pea shooters. They sound kind of like airsoft guns. They sound high pitched and everything. But a lot of times here in this game with the guns, you definitely get a lot of bass in there. You get a lot of oomph. You just feel the power in the gun, I'm saying, when you even hear it. So definitely is a good sign there, 100%. I love the sound design overall. And even hearing the screams of like an opponent or even yourself screaming when you get burned by one of the fire shells and the shotguns, we're gonna talk about that as well. But just hearing those screams and hearing the different words that the people say in game and everything, it sounds just absolutely great. So definitely reps up the Sledgehammer Games for the sound design in this game. It definitely does sound super cool and really does bring you in to the overall era and overall theme of this game. Now, a couple of good guns here. I didn't use all the guns admittedly. I didn't use a lot of the guns, but the ones that really stick out to me was definitely the M1 1941. That is the standard assault rifle for what you get, just off the bat in the game. Definitely like that gun. There's a lot of punch, there's a lot of kick, and you know what? That gun is very consistent as well. We'll give it that. Like, it's very consistent. It's a very nice feeling gun. Definitely did enjoy that AR, from the grip. And then my favorite SMG, aside from the PPSH was pretty good. The grease gun was crap. Don't ever play the grease gun. That one's garbage. But if you want to skip those two, you go to the Type 100, and that is your sweet spot there. And I guess they extended the level cap to the actual beta, and you got access to another SMG. I didn't get to use that gun at all. I saw it on the ground a few times. I just went over it. I didn't, think to actually pick it up. But I heard that gun was super good and was, overall the best SMG from a lot of different people, just because of its sole purpose of having the highest rate of fire in the class and everything. Definitely that one sounded really interesting. But to me personally, what I can say from my gameplay, definitely Type 100 was the SMG to go with 100%. And admittedly, I didn't go into any of the snipers or any of the pistols really for that matter, but and I did the shotguns for a little bit. The Winchester, I believe it was called. It was the first shotgun. I played a little bit of that one, not too much, but I didn't find the shotgun to be that viable, that useful. Of course, maybe it was the map I was on, a little bit more open range map, where I could have, you know, used it way better in a more close quarters map in the beta. But vaguely speaking, I didn't really find the shotguns to be that great in my opinion. But what I did dabble to a lot in was definitely the LMGs. The LMGs are great. They are so good. And you know, really, when you're thinking about Call of Duty, right, when you're thinking about the guns here, a lot of times in Call of Duty, the LMG class and the LMG weapons tend to get overlooked and not used mainly just because they're so big and bulky that you tend to move really slowly and everything and stuff like that. But actually in this game, I found it very viable, very good to use those LMGs because they really do have a nice high damage to them. And yes, you know, you are a little bit slower, and yes, you are big and bulky and all that, but overall I feel like those trade-offs are definitely, you know, small and minuscule when it comes to terms of being able to take down your enemy opponent way quicker. So definitely did like the LMGs a lot here in this game. And the big area of complaint was the shotgun, mainly when you loaded the rounds that lit on fire and everything and stuff like that. A lot of people were complaining about that being OP and everything and being overpowered, but just for me and my way of how I played and everything, I didn't really find the shotgun to be that good, you know, to be honest. I didn't find it to be that useful really. It had its moments, but definitely 100% I wouldn't say it's, you know, OP to any extent overall. Maybe some people had different opinions, maybe some people, you know, had different experiences overall, but at least from my standpoint, I definitely didn't think that they were overpowered in any way. While yes, the COD WW2 beta was good, let's go on to the bad about the beta, what I didn't enjoy particularly. And kind of one of the biggest things was definitely what I found really annoying was the time changes in between matches. Now there will be times where you know, exit a match, you end the match, and you go into these weird screens where it showed the player of the game and everything, and then it showed your rewards from the past game you got, and you couldn't skip any of them for a good, you know, 10-15 seconds, whatever, and then you can finally skip it and the next match is in 30 seconds, right? And so for me, at least, I felt that that was definitely a really quicker amount of time as opposed to other Call of Duties, and definitely did kind of mess me up in a lot of ways because I wanted to change the class, I wanted to put on a new attachment I unlocked, whatever, or unlock a new gun, and I couldn't do it because the game didn't allow me to change my class in the amount of time that it gave me in between games. So definitely feel like that should be extended, definitely feel like that should be fixed. I don't know, maybe that was a bug or whatever, but definitely feel like that should be at least addressed in some form or fashion. And then another huge one was the way they set up the party system. So I don't know why they did this, but you know, typically on every Call of Duty, and pretty much, you know, really on all the Call of Duties, you have your people that you're playing with on the left side of the screen always, right? So you can see who's in your party, you can see who's in the chat, whatever, you can see everything right there, right? But here in the beta, it's buried up in one of the top menu bars, and you have to scroll over to the right to go to the tab that says social, and then there you have to go to another window that then shows your party, and there you can invite and everything and stuff like that, and you can see who's actually in your party. So if you aren't there on that screen, there's no way to see your party, there's no way to see, you know, who's in your lobby and everything like that, and it's super weird because I feel like you should be able to see easily who's in your party and who made it in through an invite and stuff like that. And I feel like, you know, here with the beta, they made it a little bit harder, they buried it in menus. I don't really like that at all. I feel like that's really weird in my opinion, but hopefully they do address that as well, maybe, but I don't think that they will because it looks intentional. Like, it looks like the tab for social and where you have your party is super intentional of where it's supposed to be. So I feel like maybe they won't even fix this, but it's not the biggest issue in the world. It's just something that I brought up that I feel like should be definitely addressed. And then lastly here, something that I really did find that I did not enjoy a lot about the COD WW2 beta, and something that I know for sure definitely will not be addressed, is the divisions and basic training versus the pick 10, right? So with the pick 10, let's just break this all down, right? So with the pick 10 system, you were given a bunch of things and you can pick any 10 of them, right? I could have a weapon with 5 attachments and a few perks, or I can have a bunch of perks and one gun. Like, I can, you know, really hone in and really kind of change the way I want to play as a player on the battlefield, right? Now here with Call of Duty World War II, we had this thing called divisions and basic training, right? So with divisions, they're basically classes, right? Now a lot of people like to say, oh no, they're not classes, you can pick whatever you want within the classes, so that doesn't make it the class. But really, you know, just speaking from a general standpoint here, the divisions are basically classes. classes, right? There is definitely one for assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, snipers, like you name it, there is a class for it, right? And so having that and being just kind of restricted to those things, and then you have basic training, which is really kind of a low tier, great value perk system where you can only take one of these basic training things to the battlefield as opposed to 3 when you used to. It just feels overall like I'm just getting less and I can do less in the game, right? And that's not really a bad thing because, you know, of course, having less in the game that doesn't revolve around gun skill can make people focus and really hone in and really kind of highlight the idea of a gunplay and, you know, the idea of gun game and everything like that, having gun skill and everything like that, right? So that can definitely be highlighted through this whole thing. But I feel like I can do less in this game is what I feel like. I feel like I have less options and less ways that I can manipulate my class to my liking in a way in this game. And that's, you know, neither here or there. A lot of people can debate it. A lot of people can really debate, you know, if having less options is better, having less is more and stuff like that. A lot of people can argue that, but I just feel like in a way it feels kind of off. Like it feels like I feel like I'm almost taking a step back, right? It feels like, you know, this game is a bit of a step back in those ways of customization, stuff like that. And I guess we will see in weekend 2 when that all shapes up. And of course on weekend 2, starting this weekend, you will be able to play on Xbox One and PS4, so they are both running their betas on the same weekend, everything, stuff like that, so you can definitely go into that. And also, if you're on the PS4 beta this weekend, all of your stats, all of your progression, everything that you've done in the beta will continue over to the weekend 2 beta. Just in case you were wondering about that, they will be the same account, the same exact stats that you had in the first weekend will be moved to the second weekend, so definitely, you know, get hyped for that. And those are my thoughts on the Call of Duty World War II beta, but most importantly, my thoughts are cool, but let me know what you guys think as well down in the comments below. Did you guys like the beta? Did you guys hate it? What things did you enjoy? What things did you hate? All the good stuff, leave me in the comments below. And while you're done there, make sure to check out my description. You can find my Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, follow me on there. And also, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share down below. I appreciate you giving me. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.